An incident has caught not just national but also international attention. This incident is of 8 students not being allowed inside their classrooms because they were wearing a hijab. This has come into limelight from the government PU college in Udupi district of Karnataka. The news portals have reported that these girls have been out of the classroom since a span of 3 weeks, and from 3 weeks, these girls have been marked absent, though they are sitting right outside the classroom. The question is simple here: they were not allowed inside because they were wearing a hijab. This was done on the instructions of the principal of that PU college named Rudre Gowda, who was not available for comments. Previously, he has said that the college follows a uniform and the hijab is pretty violative of the uniform. The college has about 70 female Muslim students, but out of the 70 female Muslim students, 8 of them choose to wear a hijab and rest of them don't. Now, this is not understandable how this makes 8 of them different.
I don't know why they're doing so much, dragging this issue so much. What is the actual problem for them? They're not telling us also. Yeah, this issue we never thought that this should go so long. We just wanted our rights, but these nowadays have become a communal issue. I just request the government officials who are just waiting and watching the injustice happening with us. I want and I wish. I just request them to please do something for our justice, and we want the justice and we want our rights to wear hijab. We want to read in that same college. We want to read. We want to study. We want to study. We want to become something. Yeah, but we want hijab too. Please don't keep options in front of us. We want both.
These girls started to wear a hijab from December 2021. But we have to understand what is a hijab first. It's an Arabic word which translates to a barrier. And hijab, or a headscarf, is a piece of cloth worn predominantly by Muslim women to cover their heads, or personification of how they're covering their modesty. Now, since December 2021, they started to wear the hijab when they realized that there is no such rule of the college which bars them from wearing a hijab as such. But post that, they were never allowed to enter the classes because they had a thing that covered their head, which was the hijab. Now, after this, there was a lot of scuffle between the parents and the college management or the college authorities, but they were still not allowed to enter the college premises if they had the headscarf on. The college principal even asked their parents to write an apology if they wanted the children to attend the classes. Now, does that make sense? That's an important question. The cause of the students have been taken up by organizations like the Campus Front of India and the Students Islamic Organization. Of course, a lot of news channels are definitely reporting about this particular incident, but this incident definitely has a lot of underpinnings and a lot of things that we need to speak about. The question arises, what is the problem here? Is the dress code a problem? Let's understand that this is an incident coming from the government PU college in Udupi district. Now, government PU colleges across Karnataka have no dress code as such. They have a uniform, but that does not apply to a dress code. If you look at it that way, the idea of managing the dress code or the uniform is usually given to the management committees. In this particular college, it is handled by a person named Mr. Bhatt, who said that there is no scope of wearing the hijab because it violates the uniform. Now, that does not make sense to me, but talking about the Education Minister BC Nagesh, he has said that this hijab is not definitely violative of the dress code of any particular college for that matter. If we look at it that way, a lot of organizations, a lot of political organizations have written to the Department of Pre-University Education about how this thing works out and if wearing a hijab is allowed or is it not allowed. If it's not allowed, why are the other religious symbols allowed? This question has been asked. We also have to understand that the Indian Constitution provides the students with Article 25, which is right to practice their religion and right to practice their faith. We also have the Article 29 and Article 30, which speaks about the minorities protecting their rights, protecting their culture, so on and so forth. And if the students are thrown out of the classrooms because they're wearing a hijab, it's also violative of Article 21, Clause A, which talks about right to education.
To ask a basic fundamental right, we have to do so much thing. Like, we have to struggle so much in this district. Like, we are just asking for a basic fundamental right. why it's so tough to give us a basic fundamental right? And there's so many officers, there's so many like DC, DDP. We went to them, we said our situation to them. We went once, twice, we went to them, we said our situation, but still we did not get any positive response. Like we are still sitting outside in the class. We are not allowed to go inside the classroom. And if we one day we had gone inside the classroom, but the teacher scolded us, like, and she said, if you don't go out of the class, I'll push you out of the class. These are the words from lecturers. Just because we are wearing a headscarf, a hijab. Why it's so complicated?
The problem of students wearing hijab in Karnataka or across the world is not a new one. We have faced it previously, and there have been several High Court judgments from the Kerala High Court about this particular thing, but none of them have spoken about the fact that hijab can't be worn inside classrooms. If that's the case, if hijab is banned, then all the other religious symbols have also to be banned, or else this will be clear discrimination. Right-wing organizations like the ABVP, Akhila Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, has come as a counter-protest to this particular thing. They have organized counter-protest in colleges across Mangaluru, Dakshin Kannada, where they have worn saffron scarves and they are protesting against the wearing of hijab. Now, organizations, the departments, the authorities have clearly said that this is just counterproductive, because one religion against the other is not the solution to this particular problem. But the question remains, ladies and gentlemen, is hijab a symbol of fear for others? Is hijab, or your fear for hijab, is just about the uniform civil code you're trying to impose? Is hijab trying to come in your way, or trying to being a hindrance to a code that is trying to be imposed? Or your fear for hijab, or your hatred towards a particular hijab is just about the dress code? A lot of questions need to be answered, and these girls need justice, because they're not just violating the fundamental right, but also basic right of their education has been snatched away without any legal backing, without any statutory backing. Think about this. Write us in the comment section about what you feel on this issue. Stay tuned to NewsHamster for more such content.